Please watch to the end. Comment and respond to other people's comments.
That road rage shooting happened on Valentine's Day and nearly killed a man. Police now say they're looking for a man and a woman because of what was posted online. News 13's Chris McKee has the very latest from downtown where that shooting happened. Chris?
Yeah, Dean, police say they have arrest warrants out for 22-year-old Steven Lovato and 22-year-old Onisha Herrera, accusing them both of shooting from a car at another driver on I-25. Now, police say Lovato even bragged about the shooting on Facebook.
We need the public's help to find out where they are, and these two individuals need to turn themselves in.
They're the two suspects police are now looking for, accused in a near-fatal road rage shooting on I-25 near MLK.
Ultimately, these people shot into a vehicle on purpose, injured another individual over nothing.
Police say Steven Lovato and his girlfriend Onisha Herrera followed and targeted another driver, then shot him in the leg while at speed on the freeway. The 22-year-olds both now have warrants out for their arrest.
You're facing felony charges. Turn yourself into APD.
The crime happened on Valentine's Day. The victim telling police he was on I-40 West near Wyoming when a dark blue SUV cut him off, forcing him onto the shoulder. Police say the victim made a hand gesture toward the SUV and driver Onisha Herrera, who then followed the victim onto I-25 South to MLK. Police believe Steven Lovato was in the passenger seat and fired a gun at the victim, then took off. Police say they got a tip today that Lovato was, quote, bragging about the shooting on Facebook and had even posted a comment that he had shaved his beard and was hiding in Espanola with his girlfriend.
It's disturbing because you're talking about hurting another human being in the course of a road rage incident that should never happen in the first place.
The victim is expected to survive. Police want the suspects behind bars.
There's really no escape. You need to turn yourselves in and do the right thing and face the charges.
Now, police say, to their surprise, neither suspects have real extensive criminal history, almost no criminal history. Again, they believe both to be in the Espanola area right now and that Lovato may have shaved his beard. Dean, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. While Lovato is charged with firing the gun, police say the driver, Herrera, is facing reckless driving and aiding a felon.
Good evening. It was a frightening scene on I-25 in Albuquerque, a case of road rage that left a driver shot in both legs.
Now, for the first time, we're getting a look at the police video of that scene and what the couple suspected in the shooting had to say to investigators. Here is News 13's Rebecca Atkins.
Well, Dean and Jess, it was one of 3 road rage shootings in a span of just 2 weeks. And this video shows just how dangerous road rage can be.
It was a Thursday, Valentine's Day, when police were called to the side of I-25 near the MLK exit.
Relax a little bit.
They found this 21-year-old man shot in both legs.
What did he tell you? He told me he got shot road rage.
The young man told officers the shooter was the passenger in a blue Nissan driven by a woman.
And then he fired 1 round at him, went through the door, and then went through his right thigh, and then went to his left ankle.
Even the tow truck crew on scene was shocked by what happened.
This world is just dark, and you got all these guys pulling guns and shooting.
At the hospital, the victim told police the couple was speeding and swerving in and out of traffic.
I flipped him off, and that was all I did.
After that, he says he felt searing pain in his legs.
We were just mobbing, going towards Martin Luther King right there, and he just had the window down, flashing his gun, and he was just like, boom.
Police say Onisha Herrera and Steven Lovato were identified as the suspects after they'd bragged about the shooting on Facebook.
I want my Lovato returned. Okay, all right, sir.
Lovato wouldn't say a word.
I know I shouldn't have drove the way I drove. I was cutting in and out of lanes. I cut someone off. I cut a few people off.
But his girlfriend told police what they needed to hear.
So, did Steven shoot?
Yes.
While Herrera pinned the shooting on her boyfriend, they're both charged with the crime. Dean, back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. Lovato appears to have a clean criminal record here in New Mexico. Herrera only had 2 minor charges for marijuana and underage drinking.
It was a frightening scene on I-25 in Albuquerque, a case of road rage that left a driver shot in both legs. Now, nearly 3 years later, the shooter learned his sentence and why he could get out later this year. Here's News 13's George Gonzalez.
Steven Lovato has already been in jail for nearly 2 years after pleading guilty to the 2019 Valentine's Day shooting.
door and then went through his right thigh and then went to his left ankle.
The 21-year-old victim was driving on I-25 near Martin Luther King back in 2019 when shots rang out. The young man told police he was shot after he flipped off the passenger in a blue Nissan that was speeding and swerving in and out of traffic.
This world is just dark, and you got all these guys pulling guns and shooting.
Days later, a tip led police to Onisha Herrera and her then boyfriend, Steven Lovato.
So, did Steven shoot?
Yes.
In February of 2020, Lovato pleaded guilty to aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and conspiracy. The 25-year-old has been in jail ever since. During his sentencing hearing today, Lovato apologized to the victim but also asked to be released.
I think I deserve a chance to get out there and be a successful member, as like I said, because I know I can do it. It's just one little mistake that I messed up, and I did what I did, and I'm truly really sorry.
While Judge Brett Loveless believes Lovato would do well on probation, he said there needed to be more punishment.
This was not something that, it happened, and, it's just one little isolated act, and so therefore, all's good. I don't look at that at all.
He sentenced Lovato to 3 years with credit for time served and good time. Lovato will likely be out in about 6 months.
I want to reiterate how incredibly lucky you are that you're not facing a first-degree murder charge, which carries a penalty of life in prison.
Now, the victim was not present at today's hearing, but prosecutors say he had to learn how to walk again and lost his job after the shooting. He also suffers from PTSD. Back to you.
All right, thank you, George. Lovato claimed today he has horrible eyesight and that Onisha Herrera told him she thought the victim had a gun, so he took her at her word and opened fire out the window. She was given 3 years probation for her part in the shooting. It was a frightening scene on I-25 in Albuquerque, a case of road rage that left a driver shot in both legs. Now, nearly 3 years later, the shooter learned his sentence and why he could get out later this year. Here's News 13's George Gonzalez.
Steven Lovato has already been in jail for nearly 2 years after pleading guilty to the 2019 Valentine's Day shooting.